Hello and welcome back to Living Abroad. My name is Alex, and in today's video, we're going to talk about some things that they don't tell you before you come to the Philippines, before you retire here, before you live here, and perhaps before you take a vacation here. Now, this is our Thursday night live stream schedule. So if you don't know, I have live streams on Friday. Actually, let's go with Philippines time. It's easier. So Saturday mornings, Monday mornings, Philippines time at 9 a.m. and Thursday evenings at 9 p.m. So you can do the conversion of wherever you are staying. If you guys can hear me and see me, please let me know in the comment section and we'll get started in today's discussion. I'm hoping to have some people commenting and asking questions as usual. I'm sure we're going to talk about many different things, not just about the topic that's listed on this video. Peter already says, oh, 9 a.m. start time when we got to go to work. Yeah, Peter, but not everybody's in your time zone, right? That's why I offered three of these live streams so we can try to catch everybody that can't make it to the regular streams. And so that should be exciting. Some people that don't normally come on here get a chance to go ahead and ask their questions or participate in the live streams. I've also gone ahead and made commenting only for subscribers. Now, anyone can watch this video, so it's not just a members only video, or if you're not a subscriber, you can still watch the video. But to comment and ask questions, I've made subscribers only for this video specifically because sometimes we get a horde of random questions and it can be really distracting. So anyways, yeah, guys, so we have 15 people already on the live stream. Before we get into it, do me a favor, let me know if you can see me and hear me in the comment section, and we'll get started. Before we jump into the top 10, I've made a list here. Yeah, it's not really a top 10 video in the title, but I've made 10 things that I think you should know before you come here that not too many people talk about. Now, you may already know about some of these things, but perhaps this is like something that nobody really talks about and mentions. Oh, Gladys is here. Hello, Gladys. Welcome to a live stream. Let's see. So, 15 people watching this. I guess Gladys's message says that she can hear me and see me, right? So, which is a good thing. And I'm going to go ahead and pin something in the comment section in a second, and we'll get rolling. Just bear with me here, guys. Okay, there we go. Mm-hmm. Can you guys hear that music, or is it just me? It's weird, right? All right, so now we're back. I don't know what was that. I guess I have ads on my own channel. Okay, so let's get to number one. No more time wasting. And then I'm sure people will join as we go through this stream. Now, this is not a negative thing. Of course, the Philippines is amazing. That's why so many of us are on here. So many people are interested in these videos, and you guys keep watching it. But sometimes we have to talk about the good and the bad. So Sam McCall is here. Eve. Okay, all good. Perfect. Excellent. So the first thing you got to know about the Philippines, no matter where you live, from what I understand, well, not no matter where you live, but if you're living in Cebu City, Manila, some of the places I've been to, the noise is going to be there. Now, when I'm talking about noise, I mean not just like when I say noise, it just means there's never really a peaceful time. So, for example, in Cebu, there's always construction going on, cars honking, maybe hear some roosters going off, kids playing basketball, there's karaoke happening, people singing, just hammering of things. So there's always some kind of noise. Unless you go to the islands, of course, and if you're living in those type of areas, there's going to be some noise. So that's something you should know. Nobody really talks about that. It can be very noisy. I feel like any given time there's something happening, and over here I always hear like drums and bands playing that's so loud the entire city can hear it. So it's, and then you go to the mall, there's always music blasting, there's like live concerts, people playing guitar, live performances. Now these are not necessarily bad things, they're just noise, so you can hear this everywhere. If you're someone that just wants peace and quiet, maybe consider that and maybe go a little bit on the outskirts of town. But when you're out there, you kind of have to deal with like other kinds of noises, like animal noises. I know a lot of times roosters in the morning go off like of course, an animal alarm clock and something like that. So that's the first thing that nobody really talks about is the noise level here is very high. I know in Cebu alone, there's buildings going up all over the place, and it's really congesting the traffic on the streets. And there's condos being built everywhere, people drilling, hammering, just banging on metal. It just seems like at all times there's something happening. And on Fridays, Saturdays, there's a lot of music playing on like until midnight at least. But I think it's a good thing where they have a cutoff time. It seems like midnight seems to be the time where they stop playing music. Jared is here, says good morning from Chicago. Good morning, Jared. This is our Thursday night live stream to give a chance to all of our viewers that don't make it to the morning sessions to go ahead and participate. Today's topic is 10 things we don't tell about. Oh, one more thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and compare my 10 to maybe Chat GPT. I'm going to ask it later. I like doing that to see if there's any differences or anything that is the same on my list compared to Chat GPT's. I think it's pretty cool. Oh, yeah. So Montel Broadway says, don't forget about the trash. That's on my list. So let's go to number two. But yeah, Montserrat, trash is something for sure to be concerned about. So you know what? Let's talk about that now. Why not make that number two? The Philippines is the number one country in the world that pollutes the ocean the most. So that's pretty scary and unfortunate when you think about it. And those are just like stats you get on Google. I don't know about the accuracy, but it seems to be generally accepted that the Philippines is the worst pollution of the oil with plastics and such. Because first of all, everybody's pretty much living on an island of some kind, so the trash just kind of goes outwards to the ocean. And I remember one time I was on a beach like tour, like a island hopping tour, and it was so beautiful. And we're going, and I'm like, what is that in the water? It just didn't make sense. I saw something like floating, and when we got closer and closer, it was like honestly like felt like acres of just trash, just like there. I'm like, wow. It just kind of hit me like for the first time I saw like you hear about this kind of stuff like when you're growing up in books and like they said don't litter, don't do this, but when you see everything in contrast to the beauty of what's around you, like, it's kind of disappointing. So whether it's lack of education, resources, government funding, just people have bigger problems maybe than to worry about trash, whatever the reasoning is. Hey, what happened to my, oh, I'm there. It happens here. So trash is the number one pollution in the world for the ocean at least, and not just the ocean. The streets, unless you're inside of a mall, the trash bins are really lacking. There isn't a proper trash system that I see. Like I know I don't want to compare every country, but for example, many countries that I've visited, they have like routine trash pickups. I don't think I've seen a single trash like garbage truck in the Philippines. I know there are obviously, but it's not like a regular routine thing where I see on a daily basis. Um, so yeah, trash is a big thing, and it's just everywhere. You walk through the neighborhood sometimes to get to like the mall or the IT park, and these little local neighborhoods called barangays. There's trash everywhere, like plastic and like dirt, everything, just trash on the floor. And it kind of makes me wonder. Like I'm not talking down to anybody, but how do you live in that neighborhood? Are the parents or people living there okay with this? Nobody says, "Hey man, what are we doing?" Or like, there's no captain, barangay captain that says, "Hey, no, don't litter." I don't get it. I really don't get it. So, but there's trash everywhere. So that's a big thing. That's the second thing. Jennifer Valverde is here. Hello from Connecticut. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you for being on the live stream. Feel free to guys to communicate with me, ask any questions you have. Let me know what you maybe learned from your visit to the Philippines or what you might think is something that nobody really talks about. So far, we talked about two things in 10 minutes, which is great. Noise levels can be really high depending on where you are, and it can differ from what the noise is. Number two being trash everywhere. We just spoke about that. Um, Montel says, but Cebu is great. Yes, of course, Montel. I love Cebu. That's why I'm living here now. I agree completely. Jennifer Lorette, did the earthquake affect much there? It didn't. Now, this could be on the list as well because maybe I know as general common sense, but maybe you don't because you don't really know about Philippines geography or the way it's laid out. So natural disasters are a big thing here as well. Since we're on the topic of earthquakes, every so often you see a big earthquake, a typhoon, a volcano eruption that can affect the drastically the obviously the surroundings, right? So there was a major earthquake recently, I think last week. It didn't affect me. I don't know much about it, but I know it happened here. Luckily, I wasn't affected by it, and I hope not too many people were. But yeah, earthquakes are another thing here. Um, Before we go on, guys, we have 30 people on the live stream. I'm going to go ahead and mention memberships again. So since you guys are all subscribers, if you haven't had a chance to look at membership, I just posted the link. I'm going to make sure I pin it this time in the comment section, guys. Have a look at memberships. I just launched the first memberships video, only members video yesterday. So if you're a member, you know what I'm talking about. I show people my regular routine here in the Philippines on my regular, wait, let's see, pin message. There we go. All right, I pinned the membership. So this starts at only $4.99, and you guys get lots of like behind the scenes footage, bloopers, stickers, loyalty badges. A few people signed up already. So you guys get members only live streams, members only videos, and the ultimate level, which is private jet at $149. You get a private video call with myself, my WhatsApp number, and I make a video dedicated just for you, whichever kind of video you want. So take a look at membership if you guys are wanting to get more from the channel. And yesterday was our first YouTube ads. And yesterday I released the first official members only video. Now, Tetrish Unstable Freak is here. Good evening, Alex. You're right about the noise. I live down south in Province area and I hear noise almost all the time. It's just normal here. It is normal and you get to learn to drown it out, right? But initially, if you're in a meeting or if you just happen to, like for a second, recognize what's happening around you, like, wow, it's pretty noisy out here. But it's not just the Philippines, to be fair. Pretty much everywhere I've traveled, this happens. I think the world is really, really loud when you're actually trying to like live in the, I don't know, I guess the provinces are noisy too, but here I feel like the noise level is pretty high. Don't forget the live CCTV called Marites Chisme. I don't know what that is, but I think that means the people that gossip. Am I right, guys? Please confirm if that's what that means. A lot of people apparently in the neighborhoods gossip. That's a thing now. Um, Before we go on to the next points, oh yeah, this past Monday I had my first ever meet and greet, which was a lot of fun because, to be honest, I, initially I was a little bit nervous to, not really nervous, but I was curious to see if anybody's going to show up because my audience is very international, right? So my channel, people from everywhere, like many of you guys are from the U.S. right now, from the West. I've been to so many different countries, so people subscribe along the way, and I wasn't really sure if there are like anybody in Cebu that's there on 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. on a Monday that could make it. But luckily, about 5 people showed up, so it's better than nothing. And I want to thank every one of those guys for being there. We had a great time. We talked, we ate, and it was just nice to see people face to face instead of just like the chat section and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun. I posted a picture on the community tab if you guys want to take a look at that. It was a great time. So Good Vibe 78 says, correct. This is to the comment about the chismes or the chisme, Marites, the gossipers. So apparently, yeah, so nobody tells you that there's people here that gossip a lot, especially if you're a foreigner, especially if you have a little bit of money maybe, or maybe you're dating somebody that's a little bit younger, or just a foreigner dating a Filipina. I'm sure many people are curious and might talk about it. I don't have any experience about this, but I can see it happening because even when I go out, I see like that kind of dynamic happening. So I'm sure it's a thing, especially in like smaller neighborhoods and communities. Yeah, going on to number 3. So far we talked about noise, pollution, and let's talk about land ownership. Now, a lot of countries, if you're not a citizen, you're not allowed to buy land. And the Philippines is one of those countries. You cannot own land under your own name. And apparently, you can only rent it for 50 years. You can lease the land, or you can buy a condo, which is fine. But land has to be in your partner's name, and your wife's name, or a Filipina's name, your girlfriend or someone. So that's something to consider. You know, if you thought you're going to come here and buy a piece of land, build on it, build yourself a house, look into the rules and the laws. I don't know about it personally, the details, but from everybody that says it, you cannot own land. So if somebody has much more detailed answer about that, has any experience trying to buy land in the Philippines, please let us know. But I know it's not as straightforward as it may be in some countries, like even Canada, right? So a lot of the Chinese investors would come over to Vancouver, for example, buy land, buy property. I don't know if it's land, but at least they'll buy properties, which would mean they jack up the prices for the locals. So I can see why some countries don't allow land ownership because they don't want things like that, people taking advantage of the country. And the Philippines is one of those places where you cannot own the land if you want to purchase it. It's got to be in a Filipino's name. So that's my understanding. That's number 3. Um, so I'm wondering if it's because I turned off only if I turned off anyone can message and or comment. Is that why this is happening, or is it just because we have fewer number of people? But I find that today it's been less communication and chat. So maybe next time I'll leave that on anyways. Because we had one bad experience the other day when we had a live stream. A whole bunch of newbies came on and it really kind of disrupted the regular way we do things on this channel. So I thought it'd be nicer to just allow subscribers to comment, but perhaps I can go ahead and change that right now in case, you know, I don't really feel right about doing that anyways. I don't want you to just only be a subscriber to get a chance to talk to me. So I'm going to change that right now. Give me a second, guys. We'll go to the 4th thing quickly. Feel free to ask your questions, comments. Consider using the super chat, super stickers, or if you're new to the channel, subscribe, like the video, all that stuff. Just give me a second while I change the settings here, and then that way I can allow anyone to comment. Hopefully we'll get some more engagement to continue this stream going. Let's see. Okay, so it's kind of cool. I can do two things in the back. I wonder if it works, or does the stream have to end before this can actually take effect? But I'll try it anyways. I'm going to change the setting here. The live chat replay, change to anyone. All right, so there we go. I've changed the setting. Now anyone can go ahead and comment in the comment section. You don't have to be a subscriber. Okay, going on to so that was number 3. So we talked about noise, pollution, land ownership, and number 4 is going to be, that wasn't, no, noise, land ownership. Okay, we got a pollution. Number 4, bureaucratic things. So the bureaucracy here is not the greatest. If you're coming here just as a tourist or a visitor and you're gonna spend some time here and maybe extending your visa just one time, it's not a problem. I love it here because it's very fast, very quick. You go in there, you pay a little bit of money, they extend your visa, Bob's your uncle, you're back onto just chilling. But if you're here long term, if you're a retiree here, if you're trying to be a citizen in this country, if you're living here over more than 2 or 3 months and you have to get some paperwork done, it can take ages for this to happen. So a lot of times you have to keep going in and out of the office, the immigration office. They call you back for just pictures or filling up another form, or just wait time is extremely long for simple things to get processed and completed. So that could definitely be something nobody tells you. You have to really plan for that to get things done. And sometimes certain immigration officers, they don't do certain things that other ones do. It's not like mainstreamed across the board. There's smaller offices, the bigger offices. For example, if you stay here beyond 6 months, you have to have something called an exit clearance. So that means that immigration wants to see you have not committed any crimes, you're not blacklisted or anything before they let you leave the country. So you have to go to the immigration office, they print you a piece of paper, and they take that to the airport, immigration stamps it, and you get to leave. So now that cannot be obtained at every immigration office, for example. And you might need a criminal background check if you stay here a year or longer. So there's all these little things you got to consider if you're coming here, and it might take some time, and it might not be near you. I know some people have to come from Dumaguete all the way to Cebu City to report their like 1 year long-term residency or some nonsense. Regardless, some of that stuff can take a long time. It's a lot of different steps, a lot of paperwork involved. Over here, they write everything on paper as backup, and I don't know where the paper goes, but they have paper as backup. Okay, guys, whoa, we have 37 people here. Feel free to ask a question, guys. We're talking about some things that they don't tell you before you come to the Philippines. So that is bureaucracy here, the paperwork. It takes a long time to get things done. And let's go to number 5, cockfighting. Yes, you heard me right, cockfighting. I've seen, whenever I walk by these little areas, I always see like roosters chained up from the feet to some wire or something. So the roosters are tied up, and it's kind of sad to see because I already see dogs and cats and other animals that are not really well taken care of. And then you see roosters too. I don't really care about roosters, but then it reminds me that over here, cockfighting is a big thing. So they have roosters fight against each other. It's really not humane, but just the way they do it over here, obviously it's not easy to see, but it happens. It's not you can't deny it. It's like back in like the U.S. with the dog fighting with Michael Vick and all that was such a big thing, right? They made a huge thing about it. Ended the guy's career. Nike pulled out. He lost his sponsorships, all that stuff. Over here, that happens on a smaller scale as far as roosters go, but it still happens here. It's a big thing. They bet on these fights. So it's a huge like behind the scenes. At least for me, I don't see it, but I know it happens. All this like cockfighting that happens here, roosters fighting against roosters. I had no idea before I came here that was happening here. Oh, pool tournament also. Oh, okay, I had no idea about pool tournaments. I mean, I think from my understanding, one of the best pool or billiard players of all time is probably Filipino. I don't know where I heard that or saw that, or maybe I'm mistaken. But I see some pool halls here. Maybe I saw 2 or 3 near my area. So that must be popular because pool halls have kind of gone out of style back in Toronto. I don't usually see pool halls anymore. I saw a lot when I was like in high school or growing up, but maybe I've just changed the things that I'm into. But yeah, so those are the things so far we're talking about. Some things that they don't really tell you before you come here. Pollution, like plastic and all that littering that happens, um, noise pollution as well, the bureaucracy, land ownership, cockfights, and number six, we're going through this list very quick, guys. So number six is divorce. Divorce is not allowed in the Philippines. You cannot get divorced here. So keep that in mind before you get married. So yeah, you cannot get a divorce. I think I heard that the Philippines is the only country that you cannot get a divorce legally. Something like the Vatican is the only other country in the world that you cannot get a divorce. However, in March 2023, the House passed a bill that says you can get a divorce. It hasn't been finalized yet, but that's something else to consider. You cannot get a divorce, and what that leads to is a lot of unhappy marriages, a lot of cheating going on. I mean, just like it's not good for the fabric of society if you live in the Philippines if women do not have the right to get a divorce, or men for that matter. So, yeah, really, really interesting stuff. I had no idea there was no divorce here. Uh, Gamer Abu sent me some gang signs. Gang, gang, gang. I don't know what that means, but hello, I'm going to guess. John gives me 3 thumbs up. Thank you, John. Hello from India, Gamer. Okay, thank you. Hello from India. Thanks for being here. Andrew CJ, I don't care for cockfighting, but the cage dog get me. Yeah, there must be some. The cage, like, oh, that's another thing. So, cruelty towards animals here. I haven't directly seen it, but if I go to prison, I know it's because of something like that. So if I see somebody kicking a dog, I'm gonna like get involved physically. So I see dogs chained up sometimes, but I don't know what the situation is. It's just hard to like. It's hard to acknowledge, ignore, not do anything about, and do something about it all at the same time. Because you see this, you want to help, but you don't know your place in this culture, this society. What, you're gonna save one dog and save the whole country from this behavior? It's not. That's not how you fight things like this. It's not going to end well for me or that person. They're not going to care what some foreigner thinks about how they treat their dog the one moment he would happen to walk by, right? But I know it's really difficult to handle and deal with, and you see that often here in the neighborhoods. John says you're telling the truth always. Thank you. No, I'm not out here to try to like win fans. Like of course I really really do like the Philippines. I live here now. I'm going to be here long term, or at least make it my base. I feel very comfortable here. I love being back here. Everything is really really good. But obviously, just like anything else in life, with the good comes the negative things, and sometimes you got to be aware of these things because you don't want to come here and completely be overwhelmed by, with some of the stuff that you might see. A lot of guys take a trip to Thailand to avoid the exit clearance mess. So Frank Ellis says. Speaking of which, I know they're trying to finalize some changes coming to the immigration here. So, for example, the exit clearance was only required after 6 months. So if you stay here past 6 months, you need an exit clearance. But now they want to extend your on arrival visa from 30 days to 60 days. However, if you stay here past 60 days, they want you to have an exit clearance, which means that 6 months has been going to be reduced to only 2 months, which I think is going to really, really damage Philippines tourism personally. Because let's be honest, one of the few things that's pushing Philippines even to be competing against Thailand is the visa duration, the fact that you can stay here long term without too much BS, let's say, right? Without too much nonsense. It's a simple process of extending a visa. If they try to complicate this by saying that you need an exit clearance at the second month stage, I don't think many people are going to be putting up with that. To be honest, a lot of people I think to just simply go to Thailand or other neighboring countries because aside from English and visa things, Philippines are going to have a really hard time competing against like the world's leading tourism, which is like Thailand. So Frank Ellis answer: don't get married. Yeah, exactly. Right? Don't get married. Live with the person you care about, but doesn't mean you have to have some written paper to go ahead and tie you down if things don't work out. John said, how is cost compared to Thailand? Overall, the Philippines is more expensive. I can't think of anything in the Philippines that's cheaper than Thailand, to be honest. And not only is it more expensive in the Philippines, it's the quality is lower as well, especially when you consider accommodation and food and just overall quality of things. Like I ordered, what I ordered? I ordered T-shirts like gym shirts and socks and even an SD card. all of them, like everything I buy essentially has some sort of issue with it. So I bought a memory card that was supposed to be a certain um, what do you call that? Certain specs. So it's supposed to have like a V30 so it can match with my GoPro. It's not. It says on it it's a V30, but it's clearly a bootleg, a fake one, and it probably explains the price because it was about half the price of my previous card, SD card that I purchased. So that didn't work. That was a waste of money. I bought some T-shirts that already within like a day of wearing them, the stitching is coming off. I just wanted some gym shirts for the gym, the shorts. So all these things, I'm not saying the Philippines is bad, but like when you pay less, you get less quality in this country, I feel like. But if you pay good amount of money, you get good quality stuff. Thailand is like cheaper overall, cheaper food, cheaper accommodation, cheaper internet. Um, I can't think of anything that's cheaper in the Philippines, to be honest, from my experience, from what I'm going through. Thailand even has cheaper coffee, cheaper milk tea, cheaper cafes, cheaper restaurants for Western food. Um, yeah, sorry guys, just the way it is. You gotta have some more money if you come to the Philippines. It's not by a lot, but probably between 25% or so, 20% more than Thailand. Tetris Unstable Freak. Have you ever ordered anything off Shopee or Lazada? I find the cash on delivery system very helpful, and I can budget my money better than if I were to use a credit card or debit card. That is a very big bonus. I have been using them, and that's one of my favorite things from these shops. Cash on delivery option, which means you don't have to pay, use your credit card or anything before you get the item. And some stuff you can't really tell. Like none of the things I bought, even if I opened them in front of the woman that delivered it, I wouldn't know there's damage or it's not compatible with my video camera or anything like that. So the the delivery system is great, but the rest isn't. I'll tell you something that annoyed me yesterday. Oh, so angry. So I go to 7-Eleven and there's a big lineup because I think it was about 10 p.m. and or 9 p.m. People are starting to go to work over here to work overnights. There's at least four people ahead of me. I waited, and the thing that I was buying was two little things. I think they were like chocolate chip cookies because I want to have it for my coffee in the morning. Anyways, so I get to the cashier. My items come to 20 pesos. 20 pesos. I give the woman 100. She says she doesn't have change. I'm like, you're 7-Eleven. You don't have change for 100 pesos. She's like, no. So I'm like, cool, bro. You just wasted 20 minutes of my life waiting in line. And you have change for 20 pesos. That's a random story. I just want to get it off my chest. And now you guys know the same way as I do. Okay. So Gen Z is here. Hi, Alex. Good evening. It's nice to see you here. Hello, Gen Z. It's nice to see you too. I don't know if you were in the last live stream. I think you just missed that one, but I'm glad you're here. Welcome and feel free to ask any questions, guys. Take a second. We got 40 people watching this. Please hit the like button, subscribe button. Feel to feel to feel free to feel free to use the chat stickers. You know what I mean. I don't gotta do this every 2 minutes. I just gotta drink some water. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow, Friday, I got a video coming about foreigners describing the Philippines in just one word, which is going to be exciting. So look forward to that one. Papa Doug says, I'm dating a woman from Manila. She left her deadbeat husband over 5 years ago, and she hasn't received any penny from him to support her two children. Divorce would release a lot of stress. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing that. You're right, Papa Doug. I think that would solve a lot of people's problems, a lot of headaches, a lot of stress. I'm hoping this bill passes, the one that was introduced in March 2023, to go ahead and allow divorce to be legalized in the Philippines, because I think many people will benefit from it. Why force people to stay together? I think it's like ridiculous, right? You shouldn't be able to control people's lives to that degree. I don't know. I'm not married. I don't got to worry about it. But there's a lot of people that are married, and that's the thing. So over here, if you're ever gonna date a Filipina, if she says she's single, you can't just take her word for it. No offense, because since divorce is illegal, the chance of her lying to you gets higher because she has no other choice but to like say, yeah, I'm not married or I'm not never been married, because like, yeah, what is she gonna say? Oh, my country doesn't allow it. So just check. So I think there's like this form you get, some kind of confirmation from the government that tells you if this person you're trying to marry is actually in a marriage already or she's literally single. So I'm sure somebody knows what I'm talking about. Maybe I should learn about this stuff before I start opening my mouth. But The point is, I heard about this. I know it's a thing. Try to get this almost like an exit clearance that we have to leave the country, but to marry somebody, get a clearance, a formal letter that says that this woman is not married. If you care about that. If you don't care, then you don't care. But then again, I know you can run into like legal and custody issues. Let's say you're living with a woman and you guys have kids, or you build a home together, you buy things together, you build a life together, and a husband comes down, hey, she got a foreigner husband now, a second one. I can get some money out of this relationship. I want to go back home. So big problems ahead if you don't take care of them. Lost in the Philippines. Says there's illegal dog meat trade in the Philippines. Up to 500,000 dogs are killed for consumption annually. It's most common in and around Baguio. It's disgusting to even think about it. I agree. Lost in the Philippines. I shit on people that would ever do that. Like that's just messed up. I'd rather like dogs are innocent. Like they're dogs because they're so close to humans. They have emotions. They have feelings. They help humans in so many ways by sniffing out like they can even sniff cancer and other illnesses. Now COVID they can detect all these things like helping the blind and the disabled, and they go in after bombs. I don't have to tell you guys how much helpful dogs are and how. Anyway, so that's messed up. Yeah, I know that kind of shit happens in a lot of Asian countries, but it's always worse when you hear about it and hear some stats and numbers or even see it. I saw it one time. I almost threw up. I saw dog meat on the street, and not in the Philippines, another country, but it was really messed up. Um, Arlene Leah says a pride. I can't see the emojis, but a bunch of emojis. Frank Ellis, Amazon ships to the Philippines now. Word? Seriously, Amazon? I've been buying things off Amazon all my life. Well, not all my life, most of my life. So that's pretty good to know. Amazon ships to the Philippines. Good to know. Oh, by the way, guys, on Saturday's live stream, I'm going to have a special guest on here. We're going to have Lorenzo, who's an author, lives in Malaysia now, left Canada. We're going to get his perspective on life. I did a full-on interview with him on the channel previously, but we're going to have a live stream with him and find out why he does not want to live in Canada, because he just went back but he realized he likes Asia. So he came back to Malaysia right now, I think. So we'll talk to him on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Philippines time if you guys are interested in that. Going on to the next one. On to the next one. Shaking hands, waving hands, pink, waving hand, pink, waving. Good morning, 9:30 a.m. Steel City TV in the house. Welcome to the channel, Steel City TV. 9:30 a.m., 9:30 p.m. So 12-hour difference. We have a question. Acha currency. How reliable is the digital wallets in the Philippines? I know they use GCash and Pay Maya. Can you use these to go cashless? You can. I mean, a lot of people do it here. I personally don't because I don't need to, and I just don't want to be honest. I don't care. I don't care. I just use my credit card or just cash because, yeah, I get a lot of security through credit card. That's the one good thing about Canada and America too, and many European countries. If your credit card gets stolen and people buy stuff from it, it's not your money you're losing. It's the company's money that you're losing. But I know a lot of countries in Asia, you don't get that security. So I know people have trouble taking their money out of GCash sometimes if they change their phone number or if they can't get into their accounts. I've heard lots of nightmare stories, but I don't know how much truth is behind that, if they actually follow through the proper procedure, customer service, and all that jazz. I just don't want to use GCash. I don't need to. But yeah, I think it's rather safe. I know other people are using it, and it must be if like so many people in the Philippines use GCash. But I don't know any personal experience from it. Frank Ellis says, don't date married women or women with kids. That's a personal preference, Frank Ellis. I hear you, bro. Like, depends on how old you are, what you care about. Some people love kids. Some people can't have kids. Some people, obviously, you don't want to date a married woman who, in the right mind, no matter how much they say, oh, we're separated, I'm never going to see him again. You need something official. You got to protect yourself, your future kids, if you have any, and your loved one, your wife to be, right? You want to protect her as well. So maybe get all that sorted out before you get into a serious relationship. Definitely. Are foreigners allowed to use digital wallets apps? I think so. As I mentioned, I know some foreigners that have it. I just don't know what their status is in the country for them to use it. Um, I'm gonna say yeah because I think you just need an ID and Philippines phone number. So, but once again, I'm not very familiar with personal use. Okay, guys, let's take a break, a water break. For me, I'm doing my laundry today. Oh, it's so annoying. I wanted to pick it up. It wasn't ready. I'm like, come on, man. I don't want to come back here. There's a laundry place downstairs. However, it takes 3 days to wash my clothes. I'm like, bruh, I don't got 3 days worth of clothes to like flip. I got like 15 shirts and 6 pants or whatever. I'm traveling in a backpack, bro, or whatever that is. Flip it quicker. So I go down like 5 minutes, but not really. It's like 10-minute walk, and I do my laundry there. But 10 minutes is a long time in the heat, and you're humid, and sweating. So today I went back. I wasn't ready. I was devastated. Joking. I was upset. I want to come back tomorrow. Anyways, take a second to like the video, guys. Consider using super chat, super stickers. I just launched memberships, so feel free to check that out if you want some behind the scenes footage. Yeah, let's go on to the next one. John says, how is the weather in comparison to Thailand? Also, I heard lots of couples are having affairs out there of their marriage. Is this customary? Oh, yeah, buddy. Everybody's cheating, first of all. Everybody's doing everybody. People getting it left, right, and center. Over here, it's a mess. Honestly, if you don't 100% trust your significant other, just don't do it. Don't get married. Don't get involved in a relationship. The weather in Philippines, Thailand, exactly the same. I think I don't feel any difference. It's just the time of the year that you go there. They're both extremely hot and humid. Unless you go to specific regions. If you go up north to Chiang Mai, you'll find some cooler weather. And from my understanding, if you go to Baguio over here, you find some cooler weather. So they both have the cooler areas like this, but they're just hot overall. It's just humid. It's gonna be hot all the time, and people be cheating everywhere. Now, obviously, who says all people are eating dogs in the Philippines? But some people do. Just like some people kill people in the U.S. Not they're not all murderers, but it's a lot higher rate of murders in America than there's in the Philippines when it comes to gun violence. Let's say. So yeah, there are people eating dog for sure. Not all of them though. Gen Z says so. Alex, um, what did you discover here in the Philippines? So for that, most of local people didn't tell you everything I mentioned so far. So for me, one thing I noticed a lot. I'm not sure. I'm trying to see what I'm trying to like. How can I say this? Hmm. I don't know specifically, but we're talking about the things that I mentioned so far. I didn't really know this before coming here. For example, noise pollution, a lot of noise, plastic and littering and trash everywhere. Like, let's be honest, it's very nice in the nice areas, but if you go like 100 meters in any direction, you're gonna see a lot of the things that are trash everywhere. There's naked kids running around. There's of course um, less financially secure homes. Poverty is rampant in many areas. Of course, the Philippines is a developing country, so I knew I was going to see that. But I didn't realize it was so close to the major developments that are happening. I thought there was like maybe entire neighborhoods away that haven't developed yet, maybe cities that haven't quite reached that area. I didn't know how bad like the internet service was here. Like I thought it was like Thailand or Malaysia or Singapore or Indonesia, for example. Like the internet is great when it's working, but it sometimes, like you guys see, sometimes I can't even do these live streams because the internet is so choppy, right? We had two YouTubers that joined me on a live stream. It was embarrassing because I felt bad. We couldn't get the live going because the internet was so trash. So those are the things that I didn't know. Is that gonna make me stop coming here? No, I'm gonna manage. These are not things that are gonna be devastating to me. Would I still rather live in the Philippines right now than Canada? Yeah, I would, or else I wouldn't be here, to be honest. So you got to take the bad with the good. Number six was no divorce, right? I had no idea there was no divorce here. While we're on the topic, also no contraception, like there's no birth control here. You know, in Canada, let's say you have a mistake and you do something with a girl, and you know you both realize, okay, in order to be safe, let's get like a pill because I'm not sure if we made a mistake or an accident or somebody gets raped or I don't know, all that stuff, right? You can go to a clinic and get like plan B, the birth control. So women can be on birth control, first of all. I don't think it's allowed here. There's no, you can't go get a prescription for birth control. Abortion is not allowed here. So if something happens and you want to not have a baby, that's not allowed here. And also like plan B, as I mentioned, let's say you both had a mistake and you want to fix it, you can't next day. All these things that I had no idea about. So make sure if you're coming here, those are some things that you're aware of. Sorry, am I like rambling? But it is what it is. You guys ask questions, I answer them. Sir Kant is here. Hi, how are you? I'm great. How are you? Arlene Leah says, I'm using Gcash also here in other countries. Can you name the country so we know where it's accepted if you can? Lindell Andiza says, country with divorce, are they happy? Uh, I'm pretty sure happy to have a choice. You know what I mean? Like nobody said divorce means happiness. The point is that it's not allowed here. And when it's not allowed, a man can like first of all, the woman doesn't have a right to get divorced. The man doesn't have a right to get divorced. Not everybody's religious that's coming over here, and maybe they try to make it work, but it doesn't work. And I'm sure it reduces a lot of problems in the future if a guy wants to get married, but the woman's not divorced yet. So yeah, brown woman says Phil's number SIM cards. Hmm. This is for the how to get Gcash. It's called Senomar. Frank Ellis says a marriage verification. Thank you, Frank Ellis. Thank you so much. That's a big help. So guys, if you're gonna get married here, and if you just want to be sure, or just to have some kind of documentation proof, make sure that you get a Senomar, which verifies that your significant other is not currently married. I'm sure it says they've never been married, or some kind of verification that allows you validation that the person hasn't been married yet. Tetris Unstable Freak says, have you gotten used to Filipino time? Filipinos are very relaxed when it comes to time. Yes. So that's one other thing. Thank you, Tetris Unstable Freak. I didn't realize that, and no Filipino can dispute this. You can get upset if you want. Maybe you're the one exception or one of few exceptions that show up on time. But many people do not show up on time here. They're just laid back. They're very relaxed. They're very happy people here. They're not stressed by time the way us Westerners are. So oftentimes you might find people late anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour or two or even longer. And they won't let you know because it's expected or it's normal for them. So they don't see the need to communicate, for example. If they say see at 2 o'clock, it's 4 o'clock, you still haven't heard anything from them. Am I used to it? No, I can't get used to that. Sorry, it's just something that I have to deal with. I accept the fact that it's not my way, but I just can't get used to it. So I really, for example, this plumber guy that was supposed to come 3 days, and finally he showed up because the owner of this unit called his manager and got him to show up on time. So, just little things like that. So I'm not used to it, but I accept it, I understand it, and I try to manage and deal with it. I check out currency says, I know it's dangerous there to carry cash. Must be safer to use digital wallet, like in other developing countries. They don't accept cash anymore. Just curious if you get to the province area. Thank you. Personally, I never have more than like $60 on me. So worst case scenario, I lose $60. I leave my cash at home. Yeah, it's always better not to have cash on you. I think the method of travel, I don't see any problem with Gcash. If you want to use digital payments and if you trust it, feel free to. Just because I don't do it doesn't mean it's the right way. I do a lot of things that are not right. It's just I'm old school. I like the way I do things. But Gcash seems to be very popular here. It seems to be working well, and I think it's not a bad idea to start off with a small amount and just try it out, see what happens. And the good thing here, almost everybody accepts Gcash, even like stalls, right? If someone's selling you coconut, they accept Gcash. So if you can do it, why not do it, right? So for sure, definitely. Mango Cash in the Philippines. I haven't had any trouble with Gcash. I only keep enough in it to pay internet and electric bill, and sometimes average at supermarket if I go over my cash on hand. Yeah, there you go. So Mango and Cash in the Philippines, I guess that's a YouTube channel, gave us some great tips on how they use Gcash. It's a great way to manage your money and just to have a backup emergency or certain things that you can budget for. And if you can't get back into your account, it's not devastating like a bank account or something like that. So yeah, guys, we have 50 people live on the stream. I'm glad that Thursday nights are working out well. People are showing up for the streams. I'm happy to provide another option for those that can't make it to 9 a.m. Philippines time Saturday and Monday. So I'm happy for you guys to be here. Show some love. Hit the like button. Feel free to use the super chat, super stickers, or become a member of the channel. Yesterday, I introduced our first members only video. It was really chill. I showed people my daily routine here in the Philippines. Let's go back to the questions here. Actually, yeah, we'll get back to the list in a bit. If you guys are going to be asking questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Steel City says, I have only used PayPal so far. I haven't tried Gcash, but I know it's big in the Philippines. It is. It's big in the Philippines. And as you travel through different countries in the world, you realize they have their own local in-house payment system. And some of them are more popular than others, of course, like Alipay or Apple Pay or Google Pay. These are like the big ones, but this gets smaller and smaller. They have their own local ones as well. In Taiwan, we don't use Gcash anymore. Everything is in cell phones already. So yeah, maybe it's already embedded into cell phone. It's like in there, and you simply link up your bank account and you pay that way. Oh, one more thing you guys should realize. Lindell here says Philippines is not for you, man. The Philippine people are very proud people. God forbid you say anything negative about the country, even if it's like a very obvious fact. If I say, for example, there's trash in the Philippines, they get so offended. If I say some people eat dogs, they get offended. So maybe this channel is not for you, man. Like honestly, if you guys are gonna be offended by everything somebody says, maybe social media is not for you. Because one thing I've learned doing this for 2 years, you can never please anybody, right? So like this kind of comment here, go back to Canada. Bro, do you think that's gonna hurt my feelings? All that does is highlight how stupid you are or how like uneducated. Maybe you're a child, I don't know. But you know what? I'm gonna do you a favor. Let me go ahead and kick you off the channel so you can never see any of my live streams or any of my videos again, okay? So not even banned from the channel. Bye. See ya. See, like, that's going to happen here. When you come here, if you want to speak your opinion, be aware that you're going to get a lot of backlash. So I don't know if that's going to change you as a person, if it's going to be a negative thing, a positive thing. That's one thing nobody told me too, that people here are sensitive. Steel City TV says, most of the people eating dogs in the Philippines are from very poor regions where there are not much of anything, unlike Vietnam, where it's literally just everywhere out on tables. Yeah, that's a very good point. Some countries, they do it as a delicacy. Some countries do it as a means of living. But to be honest, there's not a single country in this world, I think, that can resort to eating dog. There's other options. So whether they're poor or not, I'd rather die before I eat a dog personally. So, I mean, I think that now, but I know there's not people that are dying out here. Philippines, I'm sure, has some services, local place they can go to get some rice at least, eat fruit. There's other options except for dogs. Brownouts. I haven't experienced Montel much, just one. Brownouts, the same as blackouts when the electricity goes out. And yeah, that's it. You're shit out of luck, man. One time I went out at 8 p.m. That was the only time, and I didn't have electricity till the next day. I was losing my mind. I don't know what to do. You realize how reliant you are on electricity. I couldn't use anything, couldn't watch TV, couldn't stay in my place. It was horrible. I lived in Colombia for 2 years, and trust me, the property level is higher there. Actually, Filipino average salary is slightly higher than the Colombians. Interesting. Do you mean poverty, or do you mean property as in the buildings themselves? Oh, sorry, you just wrote it here. Poverty. Okay, got it. Yeah, I think on average Filipinos are doing better. I see progress in a lot of ways. Even when I first came here, 2019 or whatever it was, I just see people doing things. Excuse me. One second. Whoa, I had to cough. Yeah, so I think Philippines is developing really fast, and it's going to be even more popular in the future for sure. Heavy topics, bro. It is what it is. One or less Asia. Sometimes you got to talk heavy. Good to see you too. We got here Louise. Sorry, Lewis. Sorry, I keep doing that. So Lewis says, "Good evening, there, Alex. Good evening." Oh, Steven's here as well. Have you had any stomach issues after eating the food? Zero, nada, nada chabada. I got an iron stomach. I can eat whatever, whenever. Honestly, I don't have any problem with my stomach when it comes to eating. How about beauty? Are the Filipina prettier than the Thai girls? So what is your opinion since you have been in both countries? Depends what kind of woman you're into. I find that the Thai women are slightly taller and slightly slimmer on average. So they're taller and slimmer. But if you want curves, petite, like shorter, curvier, maybe a little bit more tan, perhaps, then the Philippines is for you. This is like generally speaking. Of course, in each country you can have a variety of all kinds of things. So it comes down to what do you prefer? Do you prefer thinner, slimmer, taller girls, or do you prefer like a bit shorter, like a little bit curvier and tan girls, right? So yeah, really it comes down to like what you consider as pretty, right? I think a lot of times we want the opposite, right? So if myself I'm darker, shorter, and whatever, fat, maybe I want like skinny, lighter, and taller. If I'm like tall and slimmer and white, I might want like a little bit tan and curvier and shorter, right? So it really depends what you want. Overall, that's the differences I've noticed. Uh, Wanderlust Asia, Willie says, how about all the dads who abandoned their kids here and won't pay for them? A topic that I don't see on YouTube. I don't know much about it, to be honest. I've never talked to women in that situation. I can guarantee it happens, of course. And based off the previous topic of no abortion, no divorce, a guy probably has no choice but to run away, which is cowardly, of course. I mean, not no choice, but I can see why a guy would run away if they can't get away from those things. Um, I have no idea. Those guys are pathetic, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know their life story, and nobody covers them probably because they're very sensitive, very heavy, very just divisive, controversial, and I don't see any good that might come out of it except for like educating people. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's something we should talk about for sure, but definitely not on this channel unless I have someone that can tell me about it because I don't know much about it, to be honest. Muchi says there's no divorce. So how about the guys who are marrying single mothers? Were they never married before, or what's going on? Yeah, exactly. So this is what we are talking about earlier. You got to be sure that the woman is not married. But a lot of times, foreigners come here, pregnate Filipinos, and they go back to the country. So where some things like that can happen too. A lot of times there's not enough birth control education in school because it's a really religious country still. They don't talk about sex, I'm sure, the way we do in the West. So people don't know enough information. They get pregnant at a very young age. Then they have a kid. So maybe they're not married. But there's a whole slew of things you got to kind of like navigate through to find a proper relationship or what I might consider proper. Uh, yeah, karma will punish them for sure. I hope so. The problem is that some Filipino husbands who let their wives go with foreigners so they can extort them later. Hmm. Now we're reaching a point of just like I don't know. I don't know enough about these things, but I'm sure that happens, has happened. To what degree or what percentage, I have no idea. But just like anywhere else, I'm sure if there's money to be made, people are going to try to make it. Mango says to Wanderlust Asia, if they have a child with an American, they can go to the embassy and file with an America. Will go after the man for child support, even if it was born in the Philippines. Oh, good to know. Good to know. But how are you gonna prove that that's the baby daddy, right? I'm sure there's a way. But good to know you have some kind of resource. So yeah, they were either never married or still married, and no standards. It's all about the pace in the Philippines. Slow, slow, and slower, Frank Ellis says. Things can run slowly here. Gcash does not require a Philippine phone number. Or does require. Yeah, so we are talking about that earlier. Gcash requires Philippine phone number. Guys and ladies, we're reaching an hour mark, and I have about four more things to go through, or maybe three. You guys have been lovely asking these questions. Feel free to keep the questions coming. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't yet, press the like button. Stop being lazy and just press it. I don't know if it makes a difference. I'm going to ask anyways. And consider being a member of the channel to get much more in-depth coverage, stickers, loyalty badges, all that stuff I said earlier. Check out memberships. I pinned it to this chat. Uh, Muchi T. I like that. Muchi T. Muchi T. Remind me Pusha T, the rapper. Anyways, Machi T says, Wanderlust Asia, is there some legal jeopardy to that? Do they allow legal separation? Sounds all confusing and like a mind trap. It can be, right? This is we're talking about. I have no idea, but if you're gonna get married here, you gotta figure that out. You gotta walk through this maze of like bureaucracy and paperwork and this and that. I don't even know why people get married. Please, right now, tell me somebody one benefit to a man to get married. I want to know. Tell me one benefit to get married. I'm curious. Please, somebody. Shoot, ladies, men. What is the point of getting married? I want to know. Preach, bro, preach. Yeah, I'm not trying to be like mean or whatever. It is what it is. People get like, anyways. Go back to Canada. Probably texting that while in the U.S., Canada, or another country. What adult does not respect freedom of speech? You're not insulting anyone. You'd be surprised, bro. You'll be surprised. It's funny how people get offended for other people, right? Like you said, um, there are very few people that are in a country that's native to them. Especially like in Canada, we stole it from the natives. In the U.S., you guys stole it from the natives. It's like how far back do you want to go? Oh shit, I just hit something. Regardless, we don't got time for people like that. John says, "Thank you, Alex, for telling us about your experiences." You're welcome, John. I'll be more than happy to. Dan Cronin, people are definitely sensitive. They don't handle sarcastic humor either. Pro tip: avoid conflict at all costs. Not worth it. Yeah, don't. 99% of the time, I don't engage with people on the chat and the comments. I never had any issues in real life, to be honest. In real life, people tend to be very well behaved. It's when they get really brave behind a keyboard, they feel like, they have to stand up for the country because I talk about pollution or something. So it's probably a 12-year-old kid. They don't have any life experiences. They don't understand. Or maybe they're living in their like ivory mansion somewhere. They haven't stepped outside to see the real Philippines. Somebody was telling me the other day, there's a famous photographer apparently around here taking photos of the newly built like casino or something going around, and he publishes it to the magazines. But before he does that, the city has to approve the photos. So they kept rejecting him because whichever angle he took the photo, the slums were visible. So the guy's like, "What am I supposed to do, man? You got like this exactly. It's right next to. We can't like. I don't want to Photoshop my photo, right? He's like a proper photographer. Anyway, so that kind of reminds me of that. There's no difference, I think, Bob. They just call it a brownout over here instead of a blackout. Uh, woo, Valencia and Duma area, my God, it lost at least 4 brownouts a week average. Okay, so we go. Apparently in Valencia and Dumaguete, you get like 4 brownouts a week. Really, 4 blackouts a week? Why would you live in an area like that? I don't know. Maybe you got generators, backup generators. Maybe you just like the simple, peaceful life. Some people don't mind a blackout. Maybe they don't care, right? They're not on their phones 24/7. Maybe they're enjoying it with their loved ones, significant other. Who knows, right? So I have no idea, but I guess those two places get a lot of brownouts or blackouts. Thank you, Dan, for confirming. There's no difference. Day and night. Okay. Um, Mushi T says, brother, I'm African. I don't eat dog, but that is just how we were raised. I'm sure there are some Indians who don't get why you or me would eat beef. I think what people eat is up to them. I disagree personally, but that's your choice. I get it. Beef, some people don't eat it. Maybe because I have a dog, or maybe because I just feel like there's certain animals that are much more conscious of their life, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. I don't judge people on what they eat like that, but I feel if there's alternative options, why eat something that's so close to you as a human, as far as like man's best friend? But once again, this is my opinion. People eat everything, but I don't think literally. I know there's been reports of certain countries eating like babies and stuff. Would you agree to that? I don't know. So how far do you want to go? Do you think eating like babies is okay? I don't know. Maybe you do, but I honestly don't know. Regardless, that's your opinion. I disagree, and people can disagree and still have a civil conversation. I think that's why sometimes people forget that too. You can still disagree and have a conversation on the matter. Thanks, Frank Ellis. The Philippines, a developing country. Steel City TV said, I seen a recent vlog from Cuba. Just wow, they don't even have food stands or street food or anything. It's just nothing, nothing on the street. Even their main capital, there was nothing. Yeah, Cuba is. I've been to Cuba, but this was a while ago, maybe 12 years ago, and I saw a cow. I had never seen a skinnier cow in my life. Like it was really bad, and I was like, oh, I was at a resort, so for me, I don't know. Cuba is a lot poorer than I thought. Like I know because of communism and all the sanctions, and I know the U.S. had a big part in them being the way they are because of like the sanctions mainly. But yeah, it's unfortunate because I know at one point Cuba was like really thriving in a beautiful place. I'm sure it still is, but poverty's around the world, I guess. Mango Cash in the Philippines says, when you came here, were you as shocked as I was at how many brand new vehicles and motorcycles on the roads here? So many in malls walking with bags of stuff. A poor country? Well, just like anywhere in the world, I think there's rich people and there's poor people. I think the contrast between the two, the levels, is much more visible here. In Canada, you would not really know who's poor and who's rich immediately, almost, right? Because even the ghettos have like government housing, or like if you see someone really poor, it might be one out of every 100, let's say, where over here it might be three out of every 100, or I'm just putting out random numbers. So I wasn't surprised because no matter where you go, even if you go to Afghanistan right now, there's gonna be Lamborghinis there. There's gonna be Porsches and like Range Rovers or whatever. Will you see as many as you might in LA? Of course not, but there's gonna be some. So that's why I wasn't very surprised. But that thought did cross my mind sometimes, like how, for example, these coffee shops are always packed with Filipinos. And I'm like, who is paying $4 a coffee here? Like, where are you guys coming from? If, even for me, I'm like, I don't know if I want to have a coffee at 200 pesos. I'll just make one at home here for like free, basically, because it's so cheap when you buy the coffee beans yourself. Like, once in a while I go, yeah, but like I'm saying, every day I could understand how these coffee shops are all packed with local Filipinos drinking 200 peso coffees when the minimum wage is like 500, let's say. So yeah, some stuff I don't understand. Muchi tea. If you travel enough, you will see people eat all kinds of things. Even here in the U.S., they used to eat some things that today most would not fathom. I agree, and I have seen people eat all kinds of shit, and I've eaten weird stuff too. So I can't really. Yeah, you're gonna see a bunch of stuff, and you might even experience it. Um, They proved to the embassy with the photos they were a couple, provide his name, and America will court order DNA if he is back in America. Oh, good to know. So I guess if you can prove the person, if you had photos with them, the U.S. will issue a DNA test for that guy, and if he's the father, then he'll have to pay some child support. Good to know. So women, ladies, you have some legal action to you can take if the dad is American, or yeah, pretty cool. The only benefit is your missus and kids will be supported if you die. I guess that's a good benefit, right? I mean, you want your kids and maybe not the missus, definitely the kids to be supported. Oh, you mean the marriage thing? Huh, this is so old, guys. Sorry. We're really behind the comments here, guys. So please feel free to ask your comments. I'm going to answer all of them. If you want them answered faster, you can use the super chat, super stickers. This comment is regarding to me saying, why would somebody want to get married? Okay, but I can only speak for Canada because I don't know the rules and laws here. But in Canada, if you live with somebody for 6 months, they have legal rights to your possessions as if you're married. So if I ever got married to somebody, I'm probably gonna live back home at some point, and if they live with me for 6 months or longer, they have like the same rights as if they're married to me. So yeah, I'm not saying don't stay with that person or live with them. I just don't know the paper. You could put them in the will, no? Just put the people's name in the will. So and so will have my money. That's it. One else Asia. I'm talking about Filipino guys abandoning the kids. Most of the single moms here are from Filipino guys. Maybe 10% are from foreigners. Filipinos seem to accept it and don't call the guy. Politeness. Is it politeness though, or is it just cultural norms? I guess. I don't know. This is way out of my league to be talking about why men abandon the children. I haven't never abandoned a kid of mine, and I don't know anyone that has. So I really don't have any information on this topic, but I guess a lot of people do. I don't know why they don't call them out on it. I guess there's no rights. Maybe I don't know. The only proof the U.S. consulate would care about is DNA test. How will the girls get that if the guy already left? Yeah, I don't know if a picture's enough though, right? So who knows? Maybe if you have a piece of his hair or like I don't know. It's an interesting topic though. Some journalists should do like a proper research and video on that. It'd be interesting. Um, Steel City TV says you can get a divorce. The problem is they're pretty expensive for most Filipinos, and it's looked down upon. That's another big reason. Can you? To get a divorce, though, from my understanding, you cannot get a divorce in the Philippines. Um, you might get an annulment or some kind of legal separation, but I don't think you get a divorce. Um, it could benefit her if he, yeah, her exactly, not him, if he runs back to America because it goes of his income level with American courts. Are we talking about marriage still? Because I'm saying for the man, there's no point. Point of getting married comes down to a bunch of things, but if you're living in a foreign country, then it gives you an opportunity to buy land and build your dream house. Yeah, so the land thing, once again, that's like a business transaction. I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about two regular people getting married, not necessarily in different countries. Um, Good Vibe 78 said there's annulment and asked for certification of significance or singleness, I think, from National Statistics OFC. All right, guys, 1 hour, 5 minutes. I'm gonna get back to this list. Give me a second to drink some water, and we'll get going. I mean, we'll keep going. Muscusi. Anyhow, going to, I'm gonna go down the list, okay? Noise pollution, regular pollution, bureaucracy, land ownership, you can't, um, cockfighting, no divorce, no birth control, no abortion, all that. Oh, yeah. Number nine, offloading. What that mean? Let me tell you what offloading is. So the Philippines are very serious when it comes to Filipinas. The ladies, I don't know about the guys, but definitely the ladies leaving the country. So what that means is if you're coming here as a foreigner, you get into a relationship, even a marriage or a girlfriend. Let's say I meet a beautiful young lady. I don't know why she has to be beautiful. Anyways, I meet a young lady and her and I want to travel to Thailand, let's say, right? And it's not as easy as you might think. So for a Filipino to leave the country, they have to prove that they can support themselves financially, that they have enough ties within the Philippines that they will come back. They have to show proof of coming back. They have to like do all these things, like jump through hoops. Is like first interview, the second interview. They got to do all these things just to leave the country. And this is according to the Philippines government protecting them because they don't want them to be human trafficked uh, or basically go and not come back or work illegally. I don't know. The reason is basically they just don't want you leaving without making sure you're coming back. So that's a big issue. A lot of people I know face that kind of problem. I think Paul from Old Dog New Tricks was worried about his girlfriend being offloaded. Also, I know Wang and Sharon Lapu Lapu, those two women, the YouTubers, they're planning on going to the Thailand soon, and that's what they're worried about being offloaded, basically not being allowed to get on the plane. So that's something you have to consider. If you're coming here, be sure if you want to travel together, they build something together, either a house, a business, or maybe she has her own money. I don't know. So that might be an issue if you want to travel with your significant other outside the Philippines. Offloading, Filipino offloading, it's an issue. I had no idea. They didn't tell me this stuff. So yeah, keep that in mind. Eating babies, where the fuck is this country? Look it up, bro. Look it up. Google search it. Google search it. FBI gonna be what you looking at, Andrew? But yeah, it do happen apparently. Um, Lewis says, in the West, there's no benefit to get married anymore, especially for men. That's what I'm talking about. Hence, why the average age of marriage is about 30 now, compared to 50 years ago, it was 20. I agree, because women have all the same rights now, if not more. So they don't need to be protected. And yeah, that's it. There's nothing for the guy. Back to the list, please. Oh, so Montel, Broadway. Sorry, man, I just saw this now. But I'm making my way down the comments. Please bear with me. Andrew says, I'm 100% shocked the amount of expensive dual cab trucks like Raptors. Yeah, there's a bunch of them here. People using them, people can afford them. A lot of rich people in the Philippines too. Samantha Jones said, we send our families food and money, and the Communist Party steals them, take them. I speak of Cuba. Yeah, it's fucked up. Samantha, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's just a crazy world out there, and it was such a shame because the people of Cuba at the time when I went were some of the happiest people I saw. Like everybody singing, laughing, smiling, so full of happiness. And I know it wasn't like fake because I was staying at like all-inclusive place, so it was already paid for, and tipping wasn't as customary as it is now, probably. So yeah, it's just a shame that The governments are corrupt all over the world. I don't think I've seen a single proper government. It's never going to happen. When you have that much power, it's human nature to take advantage of it. It's very, very rare. Even if you want to be straight and like an arrow, the people around you is going to be enough corruption that's going to affect the whole country. No retirees from America on SSI can move to Cuba. They will cut off your payment. North Korea and Cuba, you lose your check. Damn. So you get no Social Security, no money, your pension, your old age retirement money thing. Yeah, I guess ain't nobody retiring in Cuba, right? It's messed up. Going back to the list. Huh. Tacos. I don't know what I'm writing, but clearly I've okay, anyways, so I'm just gonna make something up. Uh, number number whatever was divorce offloading. Next is phone numbers. This is gonna be weird, but phone numbers. About 90% of the phone numbers you call are not gonna work. I'm gonna say that right now. Especially for businesses, establishments, hotels, you name it. The numbers you're calling, they're not going through. They're not working. Then nobody's gonna pick them up. They're gonna be out of service. Even if you call like Ocean Jet Ferry, the only one that runs from like one place to another. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna say probably over 90% of the phone numbers you're gonna dial are not gonna work. Just the way things are here. I don't know why that is. I think because getting a SIM is so easy, and because you can do postpaid plans so easily and so cheaply, people don't hold on to the numbers the way they used to. Maybe because getting a new phone or upgrading your phone is very common here because let's say some of them have older phones and switch to new. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe someone can explain to me that it's a Filipino, Filipina. Why? What is this with the phone number stuff? And there's no landline numbers. Businesses don't have like landlines. So this right here is very rare. I took the thing off because it was ringing the other day. Anyways, so a business usually in the West would have a number that's the number for the business for the next who knows how many decades or years or whatever. Here, it's like a gumball machine. Like honestly, you just can't get a hold of anybody. And it's not like the phone rings that nobody picks up. Just the number is not connected to that business, establishment, store, restaurant, people. It does not work. I don't know why. Nobody told me that. So why that is, Filipinos, let me know. Yes, we had that same discussion Sunday at the Valencia Square Market. The coffee vendors was packed. His cheapest cup was 150 pesos. That's $3 US. And in line was 50 people deep. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. What is happening? And I know Philippines is like has their own coffee too. They have delicious coffee. I drink a Filipino coffee. But what is happening here? The markup on coffee must be probably the most profit you can make in the Philippines if you want to start a business. Like I'm telling you, coffee prices here are the same, if not more expensive than the West. And I don't know who's buying these and why they're buying them. I think they said here that it prevents you from getting hot. I don't know how that works, drinking hot coffee in the middle of the heat. But even that, just because something does something doesn't mean you can afford it. There's always like so many people drinking expensive coffees. I don't get it. World Traveler says, I'm not sure where you get this info from. There's no court in America that would take a case of a plaintiff abroad. The U.S. Embassy gives people a hard time to give citizenship to kids. I'll be honest, World Traveler, when I first read that, I was kind of skeptical too. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I didn't want to say anything because of just one of my opinions, or just my opinion. But now that you said it, I don't think it's as easy as taking a picture, getting a court ordered DNA from somebody. It just doesn't make sense just from my own common sense kind of thing. So maybe someone can confirm that. Wanderlust Asia says you can get an annulment that costs around 100K. Ain't nobody got money for that. Actually, it's not expensive when you consider what it is and what it demonstrates. And I'm sure most people know that probably the foreigner wants it, so they jack up the prices. Andrew C just says mango and cash. In the Philippines, try the Vietnamese coffee stall. They're 79 pesos. Cool. Gen Z says, and do you think Filipino people are aggressive? Absolutely not. I don't think Filipinos are aggressive overall. Not to me, at least. I don't know how they interact with. There's a big difference how someone will treat a foreigner and a Filipino. There's no sugarcoating it, guys. If you're coming here, your respect level goes a little bit higher than the locals. It's just the way it is. People are just so friendly here to foreigners that you may not experience the same hardships that a local might. So, and you can see that everyday life. The way they talk to me with sir and very politeness, they always like listen to what I have to say. They don't raise their voice in any way. They're always trying to help me out in certain ways. They instead of pointing, they may walk me to somewhere. The people here are extremely friendly and they respect foreigners. I never was in a situation where I felt like I had to, you know, get upset and loud or be aggressive in any way. And I've never seen aggression from anyone. Even if I go into a mall where I'm supposed to show them my backpack and what's inside of it, sometimes I'm too lazy to pull out. They just let me walk through. They don't even want to try to like stop you and have like altercation with some random foreigner that doesn't want to follow the rules. So no, Gen Z, I don't think Filipinos are aggressive, not towards me at least. So maybe I look intimidating. I don't know, but so far nothing like that. Sorry guys, let me go ahead and find my spot back here. Give me a second. Samantha, by the way, hello and welcome. I'm not sure if I said hi to you earlier. Yeah, there we go. Steel City TV. I got a good situation. My girl's got a nice place in Makati and works in BGC. She's self-sufficient. I do give her a gift here and there. I won't need to worry about a place to stay other than travel days. That's amazing. Steel City TV. Just be sure that your girl does have all those things. And I'm not saying anything bad about it, but people can be very deceiving as well. This is not, I say all this stuff because of all the stories I hear when I do interviews on the street. You would not believe how many people open up to me about the situation they went through, how much money they sent, and it's really heartbreaking. It's because like men want to have love just like anybody else, and it's not good sometimes when they get tricked or whatever. So I'm glad that you have these things going, and let me know when you're in the Philippines, man. I hope you have a great time. I hope she's exactly what you want her to be, and you guys have a happily ever after. And maybe you guys can get married, even though I don't believe in it, but that's something you believe in. So yeah, good stuff, man. I'm glad to hear positive stories like that because there are many, like countless women here that do everything you say. They go to school, they get their own jobs, and they don't need foreigner money, and they're doing just fine without interference from abroad. Gen Z is saying, "Hey, Samantha Jones, it's nice to see you here. How's your day?" Look who's in the house. Why are you tripping? Hey, what's up, dude? Not much. Why are you tripping? Welcome to the live stream. Let's get back on the list. We're going an hour and 20 minutes strong, and I still got a couple more things. So we just talked about all those things. The last one being the cell phone thing. I don't understand the phone number thing for businesses or landlines. Oh, and there's no voicemail here. There's no such thing as voicemail. So sometimes if you call a place, if they're not picking up, they're not picking up. There's no such thing as leaving a voice message. Hello, I called you, not there. I want to call you back or give me a call back. There's no such thing as voicemail. There's not happening. Not here. Muchiti says American credit card or debit cards do not work in Cuba due to the financial sanctions. As a result, Western money remittance, uh, remittance. I can never say that word. Um, Services do not offer transfer to Cuba. You have to carry cash or non-U.S. cards. Damn, Muchiti, I had no idea. This is stuff that's really good to know, man. I would not even consider looking into that before going there, but it's important. I wonder if it's the same thing for Iran because I'm trying to go to Iran at some point. But that's good to know. I should just take a wad of cash with me. But that's going to be dangerous on its own, right? Why are you tripping? You're Canadian, right? Did you become a non-resident? I think Philippines has no income tax for foreign income. Just wondering if that applies to YouTube AdSense income. Nah, I'm not reporting shit. I'm gonna just. I don't think it's gonna apply to me because I don't plan to stay here permanently or become a resident officially. I'm in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm a nomad, freelance. I report my taxes back in Canada as a person, like a contractor basically, and I do self-employed T4s. So it doesn't really apply to me. Yeah, shouldn't matter. To be, yeah, I don't think about that right now. But no, I don't. I don't report anything to the Philippines government. Um, Mango says, I can't get anybody on my phone. Facebook is king here. Very business here does business through Facebook. And that brings us to our next point, Facebook. Very, very big coincidence here talking about Facebook. So in the Philippines, Facebook is king by far. Everybody uses Facebook. Facebook to do business, Facebook to communicate, Facebook to make transactions, to rent things, to buy things for resale, pre-sale, Facebook Marketplace, Facebook advertising, videos. Facebook is the way to do it here, and I know why that is. I figured it out by myself, but Facebook is huge here because here, if you buy something called load, which is data for your phone, and you want to use internet, you might get any random number based on how much you pay. Let's say you get 1 gig, 10 gig, 100 gigs a month. But once you run out of those, most of the SIM cards that are provided by like the big carriers here, they offer you free use of Facebook. And that's why it's so popular, because a lot of people here can't afford to have regular income on their phone or regular data. They don't have the money to be putting on, especially younger people, students, teenagers, whatever. They're always on Facebook. I think that's one of the reasons why Facebook's so popular here, because it's free of use for many of these phones that come with SIM cards. They run out of internet, but they can still use Facebook. That's a cool expression. Heat the body to cool the mind was an expression I heard while I was traveling in Malaysia. That's good to know. Dan Cronin says bus and ferry schedules in some locations are hit and miss. Just show up and hope you get the best. Usually it works out okay. You gotta go with the flow. You definitely gotta go with the flow, and that's very true. Don't just go online, see the schedule, and expect that bus or ferry to be there. You really have to just be flexible. Sometimes not everything runs smoothly. You might not even catch a ferry that day. Maybe the weather's crap. Maybe they got stuck on the other side or something. So just be flexible. Not everything happens exactly as you might see or read it. Muchiti says, I'm not a lawyer, but there are time cases originating from overseas are tried in the U.S. courts. Oil spills will be one of these foreign plaintiffs and sue U.S. firms and U.S. courts. I think that's a very big difference between trying to get child support than an oil tanker exploding in the ocean when it belongs to a certain country. But yeah, who knows? Samantha Jones says, I think they're passive aggressive. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe not all the most. Maybe. Yeah, so I think this is regarding the comment earlier. Are Filipinos aggressive? Perhaps they're just being passive aggressive. Steel City TV. It's very easy once you go back to the U.S. to get your child stuff figured out. There was just a guy that's struggling in the Philippines for about a year. So he went back to the U.S. It was done in 30 minutes. I don't know what that's referring to, but child stuff. Because even like right now, I know, like somebody mentioned earlier, even if you're born in the U.S., it's hard to get a citizenship for your kid if your kid's born there. So I don't know. I got no idea about that stuff. Also, there are a few countries which have treaties with the U.S. where a foreign spouse can sue for child support in the U.S. courts. Most people just don't know these laws exist. Perhaps that's a thing. Maybe family court, yeah, instead of like criminal court or whatever. Razi, do you prefer to live in the Philippines more than Thailand? If yes, why? Yeah, I do actually, and that's because I'm wanted here. I'm wanted in the Philippines. The government's welcoming. The people are welcoming. They speak English. People are super friendly. So for many reasons why I like living in the Philippines. Definitely. Mango and Cash. I know for a fact the American Embassy in Manila files it if she has either a birth certificate with his name on it. Well, yeah, if he's got a birth certificate, I think that's a big thing, right? With his name on it, or the proof he's required to issue an international child support order for him to test. Okay, so some merit there. Okay, I'm swaying the other way now. I don't know. If there's tax treaty, this is about something else. WhatsApp is king in Indonesia. Okay, so WhatsApp is owned by Facebook anyway. So, but yeah, WhatsApp is very different when it comes to messaging. John says, I have been to Iran. There are only one can exchange the money is for local currency while you get there. No international credit card works over there. John, thank you for sharing that. So good to know. Cannot exchange money or use your credit card in Iran. Why are you tripping? Cool. Yeah, I'm thinking of becoming a digital nomad, and to avoid Canadian income taxes, we can become non-residents. But how much money you think you're making as a digital nomad that you can't simply file as a self-employed and still not get money back? My tax guy, I just hit puberty, guys. So I'm getting money by filing my taxes. So it really depends what you're filing and how much you're making. But that's a good problem to have, trust me. Iran, John says, is one of the most inexpensive countries in Asia. I know that too. And they have some of the most delicious food in the entire world, for sure. Hands down. USB says, you're mentioning Facebook Curious. Should guys and girls stop liking other Facebook profile pictures once in a relationship? I don't know. It depends what they're liking. Are they liking? Yeah, why are you liking shit? I think so. Unless they're your friends or family or somebody you knew before a relationship. I think anybody that's on social media after a relationship begins that's liking other male or female pictures, especially if it's provocative without a shirt or yeah, what is the point of that? I don't understand. And guys, stop liking these photos. What do you think is gonna happen? You think the girl's gonna be like, "Oh, John, you like my photo? Here's my body," or I don't understand some of these guys. I'm not saying you guys, but some guys out there are just ridiculous. I don't care who posts what. I really don't. Not because I'm mean or whatever. It doesn't affect me if you're not my friend or someone that knows me directly, you know? I mean, some things are entertainment, but like as far as like trying to get the other person's attention, that's kind of weird if you don't know them either. Andrew C just says punctuation is terrible here, but the friendliness makes up for it. Well, yeah, the friendliness makes up for a lot of things in the Philippines. Have you ever been to Kazakhstan? I've heard it's extremely cheap. I have not been to Kazakhstan, but it definitely is on my list of places to see. All the stands are gonna get it, starting with Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan. Did I say already? What other stands are there? That's it. Azerbaijan in there as well. We're gonna throw in all the stands. I've already done Georgia and Turkey, so I'm gonna get there eventually. The women are better in the Philippines. Montalv likes the women in the Philippines better. It's $375 to file for a child U.S. citizenship that's born in the Philippines. That covers the passport. Also, will be a full-blown U.S. citizen, not the mother but the child. That's good. Good to know. All right, guys, we're gonna finish off the list here. An hour and a half deep into this live stream. Bobby, my guy. What's up, Alex? It's Ayla. Okay, go. I'm the acting typist tonight. Bobby doesn't want to type. We just want to stop by and say hello. I'll be up and about very soon. Okay, yeah, I hope you guys are feeling better. I know you guys are both not feeling well recently. Yeah, get better. Guys, Bobby's Angels is this channel. Of course, I interviewed him and his lovely wife and his sister-in-law and I believe niece at the time. Yeah, they got a really, really down-to-earth, low-key, real-life kind of vlog. So if you guys want to see some more like longer format and not so much like snap, 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 to actually get a feel of the environment and also their lovely couple. So check them out, Bobby's Angels. Yeah, show some love to Bobby. And that's it, guys. So that's the last message here. I think the last thing I have here is that's it. I got nothing else. An hour and 28 minutes. I think we did well, guys. Yeah. Okay. People getting sick all over the place since last week. Samantha has some laughy faces. So we're gonna continue with these live streams. 3 a week might be a bit too much. I might reduce it down to 2. I don't want to like now that I go on my channel, I see my live streams the only thing that people might see. I don't know. I might just do 2 to be honest. Maybe like Saturday morning and Thursday night like this. I don't know. I might cut down on one of the lives. The next live is going to be with Lorenzo, as I mentioned earlier. We're going to have him on the channel, tell us about differences living in Canada and Malaysia. And the one after that, I might be contemplating my stay in the Philippines. Yeah, we'll get to that too. Last couple comments before we sign off. It's true about the citizenship and passport, but the father has to register the kids by his own will, and it has a lot of requirements. One of them, the father should not owe anything to the government. Okay. Lots of things. Never that easy. Andrew CJ, you in Duma area? If you are right, a lot of sickness going on here. People getting sick, huh? Take care, bro. Happy travels. Thank you. Yeah, I'm in Duma. Straight sick for straight sick for sick for a week straight. That's what happens to me. I crash. Like at the 1.5 hour mark, my brain just goes. The energy's gone. The mouth is dry. The conversation's finished. But let's quickly go over the top 10 things they don't tell you before coming to the Philippines. Noise level is very high. The bureaucracy, it can be a pain. Land ownership is not allowed unless you're owning a condo. Pollution, such as trash and garbage and all that. Cockfighting is a thing here. Roosters be fighting each other. No divorce, birth control, or abortion. Uh, Offloading Filipinos. If you have a girlfriend, you want to go on a trip, it might be difficult to leave the country. Um, Phone numbers for businesses often don't work. Facebook is king. And I know there's a 10th one somewhere in there. Whatever. The other one. That's it, guys. So we're going to say goodbye. Thank you for everybody for asking questions, being engaged throughout this whole thing. Whoa, the whole bunch of just comments popped up. What happened here? Hey, Alex, late to the show. At work now. How you doing? Philip Massey, we're great. We're just about to sign off. I've been doing YouTube since 2019 and I owed lots of taxes and I'm hoping to earn more, so taxes will only go up. It's not like a job where they take taxes off weekly and you get a refund later. Yeah, depending on where you live and how you do your taxes, all that's going to matter for sure. Alex, about the subscription thing, I'm going in for surgery. Oh, I'm in for much pain after surgery, then I'll take care of that. I don't have the mindset for, oh, Samantha, please don't worry about that. You do yourself, just do whatever you got to do to stay healthy. I don't want to get into details, but I hope your surgery goes well and you can always subscribe and become a member of the channel if you want at a later time. Don't worry about it. Yeah, let me know how it goes, and I hope it goes well. You're healthy, and just take care of yourself. Mentally, you got to be in the right place. Lastly, please call my name, Sohini. I did call your name. And you are a 6 knockout. I don't know what that means, but I'm definitely higher than a 6, bro. Come on. Peace out. Alex, try to stay out of trouble. I'm always out of trouble. You guys never see me in trouble. I'm a straight shooter. Trust. Or am I? You guys will never know unless you become a member of the channel where I share a lot more details about myself. See how I did that in there? Just plug that in there. Anyhow, enough of the jokes. I got to go and eat a mango. I've been looking forward to it since we started this live stream. Oh, what's happening? Alex still talking, even though he said he's going to be going away soon. Samantha says, I love your lives, just like the people that don't show up for the lives, like Darren's wife. Yeah, I understand. It is what it is. Sometimes people can't make it for whatever reason. No hard feelings. It's just I have to adjust and try to scramble last minute, and I feel bad for letting you guys down when you're expecting somebody. Thanks for the live stream. Keep it coming. Okay. If you guys want it, I'll keep doing it. I'm the biggest fan of you. You're a very cute, hardworking person. I love you from India. Aw, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you for being on the channel. Anyways, this can go on forever. Coffee stands are expensive. All right, guys. Bye. See you guys tomorrow for a full-on proper video about describing the Philippines in one word. It's very entertaining. I highly recommend it. Watch it. Turn on bell notifications.